Okay, so today we're going to do a basic bee inspection of the hive. What we'll be looking for, it's called Hooper's 5. So there's 5 questions you ask yourself every time. And these 5 are: has the queen got enough room to lay? Is she present and laying? Is there much disease? Are they building or developing well? And have they got enough stores? I nearly forgot that one. So basically we're going to go through the frame and look for the queen all the time. So on this frame you can see they're starting to store the honey. You can see the honey glistening on the inside of the frame there. If I twist that there, you might be able to see it. So they're storing the honey there at the moment. The weather hasn't been good over the last couple of weeks, as we know. Hopefully it's going to pick up now and they will start developing faster. Once they fill the comb with honey, they then cap it and seal it with a wax coating. This preserves it for them for the winter, or whenever they need to use it. As you can see, they're fairly busy. I think they're just trying to catch up. These bees are Irish black bees. Apis mellifera mellifera would be the Latin name for it. They're a protected species. If you find these in your house or anywhere else, you can't destroy them. It's against the law. And the likes of Rent-A-Kill won't even do that. This frame here has capped brood. These are all the larvae of the bees. The queen will lay an egg in these cells. The nursing bees will then feed that egg as it's turning into a larvae. They'll then cap the larvae, and that larvae in turn develops into a bee. Right? It's a full metamorphosis that occurs within the cell, so that when they come out they're actually a bee. This big fat little boy here is a drone. He's a male bee. They're bigger and fatter than the females who are next to him. But I think that's the way it is in life anyway, isn't it? You can see uncapped larvae here. Can you see them, Paul? See the larvae inside themselves?
Yeah.
They're like white little grubs. That's the uncapped larvae of the bee before they cap them. I can't see any eggs, but I don't think you'll be able to see eggs on the camera anyway, because they're absolutely tiny. They're about the size of a little pinhead. And actually there is some here, but we want to be very good to pick them up. Within these cells, can you see them with your naked eye, Paul? Inside here, tiny little white specks at the bottom of the cells.
It's very small.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see them
on camera. But
yeah, but anyway, that's what's there. Once you see eggs and uncapped larvae, you know that that queen is present and she is laying, which is a good sign. Which is always a good sign. All of these frames are full of capped larvae, which means that this hive will be doubling in size over the next couple of days. A worker bee takes 21 days from the time she lays an egg to the time it's hatched as a bee. The queen will take 16 days, and the drones, because they're bigger and fatter, will take 28 days. 28 days. Just looking through it, looking for the queen. This queen is clipped and marked, meaning when we spotted her a couple of weeks ago, we put her in what's called a queen cage and clipped one of her wings and then marked her with a special bee marker. That allows us easy access to see her when we're looking through this mass of bees. And it also means that she can't abscond and take most of your hive with her. And as a beekeeper, that's what you don't want. Now, it might seem and sound like they're aggressive, but they're not that bad really. And in general, I don't like smoking them too much. But when I do have to smoke them, I use a smoker here that's full of smouldering grass. And if you notice here, they'll start to calm down and dissipate as soon as I start smoking them. This gives you control over the hive. See the difference? But in general, I don't like smoking them, but that's a personal thing. Lots of capped larvae, lots of eggs, plenty of stores. These are doing very well. Thank God. So I'll just move through this, and then we'll go down into the main brood chamber, where hopefully we might find the queen. You can see the bigger cells. These are the drone cells, and they need to be bigger, obviously, because the drones are bigger, so they need more room to expand. Oh, and here, see, we missed her first time, but we didn't miss her this time. Here's the queen, and can you see the green mark on her back? If you notice, she's a lot bigger than the rest of the worker bees, and the green spot makes it easier for us to see her, and you can see that one of her wings is clipped. She'll keep running around the frame, so you need to keep that frame over the hive in case she falls off, because if she falls off, she'll fall into the hive, whereas if you had her out over the grass, she could fall off, you could miss her, and you lose your queen. What I tend to do is I have this little box here that I made up. You can see her still on this frame. And I tend to put the frame with the queen on it into this box. I put the lid on, and now I know she's safe inside there. I can walk away on this now, knowing that I won't damage or harm this queen. This time of year, The bees in general will want to swarm and leave the hive. This is their natural way of multiplying. It's your job as a beekeeper to stop this from happening, especially if you're like most beekeepers are, if you're in this beekeeping to acquire some honey at the end of it. Because if the queen absconds, she'll take about 2/3 of the hive with her, and with the third of the hive that's left, it'll take them the rest of the season to build up. So you won't have enough honey then. These are new frames that I gave them last week. I removed some of the old frames and I gave them some new frames. And this is called a frame of foundation, and this is how they start to build. It's like everything, it needs a foundation. So once they have that, they then take it to the next stage, which is this, and they'll build the cells on this foundation, and that's what you have then. So like I said, this time of year, what you're looking for is, are they making new queen cells with the intention of absconding? If you find queen cells in the hive, then you have to basically cut them out. Because it's like Game of Thrones, there can only be one queen. If 2 queens hatch inside the hive at the one time, they'll fight to the death. And the bees will normally make several queen cells so that they'll guarantee the queen. They don't care who wins. All they want is a queen. Because with that queen, it means that their colony can continue to prosper. At the moment, she's not laying down here. She's still laying above in the other chamber. But she will be moving down here this week because this hive is getting fairly crowded and they'll need a room, and they have it down here. Like there's a frame of drawn comb. This is ready for the queen to start laying her eggs into now. And once they clean and polish that, and they do clean it and sterilize it, it's ready for her to lay her eggs into it then. So having inspected that, I didn't find any queen cells, which is good for us. The queen looks happy enough. They have plenty of eggs, plenty of larvae, and plenty of stores, which is good for them. So in general, all is good, and this was a fairly good inspection.